Hate speech offender and now convicted criminal Julius Malema's judgment got everyone in South Africa talking. In this video, I'm going to let you see all sides, what everybody's saying. And if you stay with me all the way until my biblical reaction, you'll get to hear a response from the judge as well. And we're doing this because we're committed that South Africa will prosper. You ready? Good. Press like and let's go. So, in case you've never seen the video of what the crime was about, this is it.
Julius Malema is sticking to his guns and insists the weapon he fired was a toy. But one of South Africa's foremost firearm experts doesn't buy this explanation.
Just looking at the video, it's quite easy to identify the firearm. I have handled and used these firearms in the past myself, and it appears to be a Saiga 308 caliber rifle. So it's a rifle based on the original AK-47 design.
He says there are clear signs in the video that Malema wasn't firing a replica weapon or firing blanks.
Firstly, when he holds the firearm up to use it, you can see that there's a recoil present in time with the sound of the shots. And any firearm where there's recoil present indicates that it is firing a live projectile. Also, in the shot, you can see that there's a bright muzzle flash on at least one of the shots that's being fired.
He says Malema's actions place the lives of those around him at risk.
Those bullets come down somewhere, okay? It could be the angle he was firing at, those bullets could come down more than a kilometer from where they were fired. But still extremely dangerous.
Having now fired this weapon, it's clear that the recoil and the cycling on the gun will play a key role in determining whether Julius Malema was indeed firing a real gun.
So of course he said no, he was firing a toy gun and had a whole lot of word salad when he got his chance to answer for himself.
Julius Malema has finally had his chance to tell his side of the story. He says none of the state witnesses have directly linked him to the charges he faces. He maintains that the state's case is weak.
I don't understand why the court wants me to help the state make its own case. No state case has been made here that demonstrate that I carried that kind of weapon you are talking about. My DNA is not found on that weapon. My house was never searched. My workplace was never searched looking for that weapon. I was never questioned about that weapon. When I was sitting here, I heard that they went to find a weapon in someone's premises very far. I don't even know that address. Very far from where I stay. I must come before this court and answer for weapons that cannot be brought anywhere close to my skin or to me. No witness has ever led any evidence that I carried or discharged that kind of weapon. Remember, of all the witnesses that came here, Your Worship, I'm the only eyewitness you have. No one else was there. It's only me. Of all the people who appeared before you, it's only me who is an eyewitness before this court. There's never been. The rest were talking about seen on cell phone, seen on this, on seen on. I was there, and I don't remember carrying that.
Malema further told the court that no one came forward claiming they were fearing for their lives when the shots were fired. He further argued that his co-accused Adrian Snyman is innocent in the matter, and a man by the name of Larry Mabunda, who was present on the day in question, is the one who's supposed to be charged.
Accused number 2 and accused number 0, Larry Mabunda, they are with me. In that picture is both of them coming to me. Why is it conclusive that the white man on the picture is the one who's charged? It's for obvious reason. He's a white man who's going to turn state witness against him. That was the intention. Little did they know that he's not a white man, it's not a black man, it's a South African who stand by the truth. They wanted him to sell me out. That's why they charged him, and they couldn't charge the one of the same skin with me because they will use their skin to connive against the truth. put a white man with him, the white man will sell him out. Little did they know that it's a soldier who dies with his boots on.
So the magistrate read the judgment for 3 days, and on the third day, finally, he was found guilty of unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of ammunition, discharging a firearm in a public place, and recklessly placing people in danger. That is the judgment, and what makes it slightly more serious than anyone who might have been found guilty on these four is the nature of the firearm. If it was a 9mm that he was shooting like this, he would be equally guilty, but the sentence would be lighter. But because this is an AK-47 replica, it's very serious for a private citizen to be firing that off. And so this makes the case seriously, which brings us to this, that the minimum sentence on that firearm is 15 years. But he was not shooting someone and no one has come out to say they were injured, which helps. But still, then he could get a year or more in sentencing, which then brings up this matter. Section 47 on the Constitution says every citizen of South Africa is qualified to vote and is eligible to be a member of the Assembly of Parliament, except anyone who is convicted of an offense and sentenced to more than 12 months imprisonment without the option of a fine. So if he gets 12 months or 200,000, then that doesn't count. But if they just say 18 months, no fine, even if it's a suspended sentence, I tend to think this does not say so. So even if it's suspended, this would kick in. But not so quick, because no one may be regarded as having been sentenced until they've appealed the conviction or the sentence, or the appeal has run out of time. So this disqualification lasts for 5 years after the sentence has been completed. So he does plan to take it higher and higher, all the way to constitutional court, he said, meaning this won't kick in. So his seat in parliament is safe for now. So what's everybody been saying? Well, he obviously left the courtroom and had this to say.
Viva EFF, viva! Tata EFF, tata! Down with AfriForum, down! Down with DA, down! Down with Helen Zille, down! Mandla!
No, wait, I know who must tell you what he said. This is even better. I think you want to hear what Thomas Mabaso of 360 Experience said about it.
The President and the Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, will continue to demonstrate his respect for the proceedings by availing himself for all court proceedings, including sentencing scheduled for the 23rd of January 2026. So why are you guys saying that Julius Malema will continue to demonstrate his respect for the due process? You guys have been disrespecting the due process. The members of the EFF, you guys have been going at the judge. You have been mocking the judge, telling her she can't read, she's incompetent, she's a racist, all sort of things. But now you are saying that no, the President will continue to demonstrate his respect for the processes. What processes, guys? What processes? What processes?
We've been here for 7 years. We are almost at the end, because today she passed a verdict finding us guilty, but she released accused number 2, which is highly appreciated, because we know that from the beginning they've been looking for me. They were not looking for accused number 2. They were just playing games, and today they came out openly. As a revolutionary, going to prison or death is a badge of honor. We cannot be scared of prison. We cannot be scared to die for the revolution. So whatever they want to do, they must know we will never retreat from the ideas and the 7 cardinal pillars of the EFF. At the center of those is to expropriate land without compensation. So comrades, you must not be deterred. We live here highly determined. We are going to fight this up until the Constitutional Court. We are coming on the 23rd of January for sentencing, and after sentencing we will immediately put an appeal so that we can go to the higher court, because we think a judgment is faulty. The strategy has always been, you must try to charge Malema with everything. One day, maybe we'll find a racist judge who will find him guilty, whether he's guilty or not. Because they said accused number 2 gave me the firearm. Now they are releasing him, which means he didn't give me the firearm. Why are you not releasing me?
What?
When you release a person, you allege gave me the firearm. By releasing accused number 2, the whole case should have collapsed. But the racist was looking for me, and that's why they could not collapse the case for racist reason, to appease the AfriForum, to appease the Oval Office of Donald Trump, to appease all the white supremacists of South Africa who want to undermine the dignity and the struggle of black people.
Yeah. Of course, this is what you would say. Of course, this is what Julius Malema would say. Like, it's so predictable, man. Just like with Jacob Zuma, so predictable. It is never about the case. Like, it is never. Like, with these people, it is never about the case. So, this is the video that I was talking about that was released yesterday. Gaten Mackenzie. Who Gaten Mackenzie, man? With everything that is happening in the life of Gaten Mackenzie and Patriotic Alliance, for some reason, he still finds time to troll Julius Malema.
Ek wag vir 'n hofsaak van Malema. If they say guilty, then please, hulle moet Malema uitlos. He's my fellow bandit. I will not allow you guys to go for my bandit alliance. Me and Malema will be bandit alliance.
Oh man.
Malema will be bandit alliance. Ai, my vader, moenie 'n gat grou vir iemand nie. Jy moet 2 grou. Ek wag vir 'n hofsaak van Malema. If they say guilty, then please, hulle moet Malema uitlos. He's my fellow bandit. I will not allow you guys to go for my bandit alliance. Me and Malema will be bandit alliance. Ai, my vader, moenie 'n gat grou vir iemand nie. Jy moet 2 grou.
Man, I hope that the EFF is ready, man, for Patriotic Alliance. And they are coming. Don't be worried about me, guys. Don't be worried about me. I'm just an average guy talking nonsense on YouTube. Patriotic Alliance is coming. Gaten Mackenzie is coming. Gaten Mackenzie is coming. He has been wearing this bandit title as a badge of honor. But I don't think that this is something that Julius Malema can wear as a badge of honor. There's absolutely no way that Julius Malema is going to embrace and the fact that he is now a convicted criminal. Like, there's no way he's going to fight until the bitter end. He's not going to do that. And it's going to be so funny watching him try to convince the courts that my real gun was a toy gun. He will never accept. He will never accept it. He will never accept it. I mean, like, this is something that is going to be a stain on the economic freedom fighters. I mean, like, can you just imagine what Fikile Mbalula is going to say? I mean, can you just imagine what he's going to say? Man, they are coming. Fikile Mbalula and Gaten McKenzie, they are coming. So you must not be worried about me, guys.
That contagious love got me so much I had to share it with you. But the NPA, the prosecutor, also had something to say.
The NPA has welcomed this judgment. Let's bring in spokesperson Luxolo Kyali. Sir, thanks a lot for your time. Even though Snyman was cleared of the charges, but you welcome the Malema ruling, the Malema judgment.
Yes, we do welcome the judgment because the judgment is based purely on the evidence that was presented in court and what could be proven beyond reasonable doubt. Now, with the second accused, you can remember even when we argued, we did concede that there is some aspects that we were not able to prove, and we even asked the court to charge him on being an accessory after the fact, but then that was dismissed by the court. So we did expect that he may be acquitted. But we are glad that with Mr. Malema, he has been found guilty. Because remember here, there's a law that was broken. That was done in full view of many people by an influential person. Now we believe that this conviction will show other people who continue to handle firearms recklessly in crowded spaces that such an offense is prosecutable and will be punished for.
7 long years, Mr. Kyali. Did this case have to take so long?
Remember, this matter, the offense was committed 7 years ago, but the matter was only enrolled for the first time after investigations had been completed. That was 4 years ago. And it involved a high-profile person who would not be in court sometimes, or his attorneys would be held up somewhere. So you will remember even the postponements were caused by such. But we always stress that the long arm of the law will always catch up with you. So this also reaffirms such to the public that even if it takes long, but at the end, if there is evidence that you committed a crime, then you'll be convicted for such.
The ANC, the MKP, silence. The IFP have not heard anything, but the DA had something to say.
Julius Malema for his reckless use of a firearm in public. This confirms the violent and criminal culture that the EFF promotes. South Africa's firearm laws must apply equally, and no leader should be allowed to flout them. The DA will continue to stand and fight for the rule of law.
A DA Member of Parliament, Ian Cameron, who also chairs the Police Portfolio Committee there. Let's start with the guilty verdict on a fellow Member of Parliament. Ordinarily, what would this mean for parliamentary processes?
First of all, we've welcomed the conviction. We need to be careful, and I don't know how Parliament will approach it, but I think it's important that steps are considered, because I think it can bring Parliament into disrepute and it can create even further mistrust in the institution of Parliament. But nevertheless, I think that which Mr. Malema has symbolized through the way that he reacted, by also singing "Kill the Boer" as soon as he left court today, it all sends a message of significant arrogance and almost giving the impression as though he is above the law. And obviously, the rule of law is critical for South Africa to have a sustainable future. So it would be interesting to see what happens in the future.
Mr. Malema embodies or symbolizes an attitude of arrogance. These are your words. You also go on to say that he, including his party, embody a culture of chaos and violence. Let's understand a little bit more of why you have chosen that kind of a description?
We've previously seen quite a few times where he himself and certain members of that party have made very intimidating statements with regards to the state, with regards to private individuals and people that he differs from politically. The fact that someone discharges a firearm in a public setting without lawful cause is very worrying, especially when it comes to something like an assault rifle. I think furthermore, the fact that they blatantly lied about it supposedly being a prop, a toy gun. I think Dr. Ndlozi, when he was still in the EFF, said that it was part of the fireworks or some ridiculous excuse that we saw. It all creates even further doubt around their actual legitimacy. It comes back to the hate speech we see in Kill the Boer. There's no place in South Africa for that kind of behavior. We need to build a future for people in this country that respect the rule of law and make sure that the rule of law is upheld. We need to respect each other, and we shouldn't be polarizing people even further. So I think this is a very important message that is being sent by this conviction, and hopefully it will be a message to those who try and follow this populist type of culture, encouraging violence, singing about violence, and that we rather build a future where the rule of law is upheld.
So that was the response of the DA, that, hey, rule of law must reign supreme for every single person. But we got someone from the EFF, and this is their read.
This is a racially motivated case against the president of the EFF.
Let's talk about the personal attacks on the judge or the magistrate. The leader of the EFF was quite clear that she is acting in a way that is racist, and I think to some extent almost connecting her directly to AfriForum. Does the EFF have any proof that Magistrate Toinette Olivier is a member of AfriForum?
Well, she is a member of the AfriForum. We've been told that, and then if she's disputing those facts, she must come forward and pronounce her stance against AfriForum. In the courtroom, a newsroom was there. There were members of the AfriForum there who were, after the verdict was issued, the guilty verdict was issued on the president. They were the first ones who were to celebrate, who were doing interviews, who were writing on their WhatsApp groups. What was AfriForum doing in court? So she is a member of the
party. I apologize for interrupting you, but
no,
they are the complainants. They were there to, I guess, watch for themselves, just as the EFF leadership was there to see this case for themselves against their party's leader.
Yeah, we don't dispute that, but we are saying that if the magistrate is saying that she's not a member of the AfriForum, then she must come out and say that she's not a member. She must dispute those facts. Otherwise, if she remains silent, we've been given information. That's what we have on good authority. And if she needs to prove us otherwise, then she must come forward and tell us that.
What matters is, did she follow the law? Did she follow the evidence? Did she follow the testimonies? But they're throwing this accusation out there because they know that a judge won't answer except on this video. But the AfriForum head of public safety says, boring.
And let's bring in the spokesperson for community safety, Jacques Broodryk. Sir, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
It's been 7 long years. Finally, they ruled in your favor in the case of Julius Malema. Your reaction?
Well, we're very grateful. We think this ruling was essential to reinstate faith from the public side in the South African justice system. We think people have started to lose faith in the justice system because we've seen so many politically connected and political cases that simply did not get any attention, that simply get ignored, and there is no consequences for politicians who make themselves guilty of misconduct. So this is a great breakthrough, and it's a big win for all the law-abiding citizens of South Africa.
He was found guilty on all the charges that were lodged against him. Surely you're happy?
I wouldn't say happy is the correct word. I think it's a very sad case that we are in a position where people in influential positions like Mr. Malema act in the very reckless manner that they do, and that he has people who actually follow him. That's not something to be happy about. We are happy about the fact that justice has been served and that the clear message has been sent that when I do something wrong or you do something wrong, you'll face the same consequences that politicians will face, and that's necessary in a democracy.
And even outside when he addressed his supporters, he still maintained that it is a racially motivated case against him now that his co-accused has been cleared, Adrian Snyman. And this issue of racialism, how do you respond to it?
I think what the EFF should consider doing is getting together, have a brainstorm session, and come up with great new creative excuses for their misconduct, something else than the race card, because it's really getting boring.
Wow, it's getting boring, he says. So that's what everyone has been saying. So of course the judge can't talk, because generally judges do not answer accusations. Judges only speak through their judgments. So I thought, let me find a colleague of the judge who had the opportunity to answer this type of response to when cases don't go your way. This is exactly what Jacob Zuma did when the case went against him when he was disrespecting the Constitutional Court. The fact that Mr. Zuma, Malema, committed contempt of court, committed firing guns in public, is on its own worthy of this court's rebuke. But when this firing of guns and being found guilty is considered alongside the derisive statements and disdainful attitude that Mr. Malema has adopted towards this magistrate, in general, it is without question it should be punished. Before I go on, I must acknowledge and lament, complain, the evident rise in the casual and reckless attitude being adopted by many people whose cases don't go their way, who see it fit to level unsubstantiated allegations against the magistrate. This state of affairs, there's no excuse for this, and we can't tolerate this, and it can't be encouraged. It is not right that if a court doesn't go your way, you begin to insult the magistrates or all courts in general. This is not the way for our constitutional democracy to work. It is undesirable, especially for an influential figure like Julius Malema, should be allowed to act in such a way. Mr. Malema's conduct has undoubtedly set an example to the public. So that's why they put costs to Jacob Zuma when he was doing this. If this judge could answer them, well, I've helped with a judgment. My biblical reaction: my son, fear the Lord and have respect for the king, meaning authorities. Don't associate with those given to change, with rebels, with revolutionaries, consistently angry, consistently resentful, consistently hating someone. Don't associate with them. Why? Because their calamity will rise suddenly. And who knows the ruin those two can bring. So it says, don't associate them because they will fall suddenly. Why will they fall suddenly? Because God could do it, or the authorities can bring them down suddenly. So don't associate with the angry, bitter, resentful, revolutionary rebel. Unfortunately, many South Africans have ignored this. That's why I've had to come on every video and say, no man can serve two masters. Either he'll love the one or hate the other, or he'll despise the one and honor the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx. God moves us in the direction of prosperity, of vision, of building, of making things better. Marx says, be given to change, to revolution, to anger, to resentment, to bitterness. But don't associate with them. You cannot serve both God and Karl Marx. So let's make history together. Cheers.